The Las Vegas Raiders have the chance to astonish the NFL community by selecting an edge rusher frequently mentioned in discussions about the 6th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. This candidate is often listed among the top options for that spot. It can be confidently stated that if this name were called on draft night, it would spark surprise reactions nationwide and within the league. This astonishment arises from the prevailing belief that the defensive line is currently the strongest part of their defense. While this athlete is primarily seen as an outside linebacker and edge prospect, one could argue that if the Raiders aim to select the best player available, this candidate fits that description. However, there are also positional needs to consider, which could mean he might be overlooked in favor of other options. It's worth noting that this athlete hasn't been widely connected with the Raiders in the offseason. There has been some interest, which will be discussed in more detail shortly. It's often said that where there's smoke, there's fire, and there seems to be a growing buzz around this player, who recorded 61 tackles last season with the Georgia Bulldogs, including 6.5 sacks and no forced fumbles. His talent is undeniable, and given the success of a previous selection, it raises intriguing questions about the potential pick. One might wonder how shocked they would be if the Raiders chose this edge rusher with the 6th pick, rating it on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 means not shocked at all and 10 means complete disbelief. Personally, I would rate this surprise as an 8. While it might be unexpected, it would not be viewed as a poor decision. Selecting this edge rusher with the 6th pick would not be surprising in the slightest. For anyone feeling frustrated, it's completely understandable. A rating of 8 makes sense, mainly because the Raiders are indeed in a position to make this selection. Even though it may catch some off guard, it wouldn't be considered a bad choice. It's almost like selecting another talented player. If the Raiders go with this individual, it seems they view him as the top player left on the board. However, it's also crucial to consider the importance of relationships within the organization. The Raiders have shown significant interest in certain players this offseason, and it's clear that the head coach and general manager are quite keen on this Georgia linebacker and edge hybrid. They have arranged a top 30 visit with him and invited him to the Combine. As of the date of this recording, which is April 2nd, he is the only linebacker prospect for whom the Raiders have planned a top 30 visit, making this scenario particularly intriguing. For those looking for insights on the player in question, it's important to emphasize his experience as an outside linebacker during his college years. His status as a top edge prospect means that he needs to be deployed strategically on the field to fully utilize his talents across different positions. His impressive reach and explosive speed have garnered admiration, with his agility suggesting that he can effectively drop back, move vertically, and pressure the quarterback, as well as being competent against the run. One notable feature observed in the reviewed footage is his ability to cover tight ends. It should be acknowledged that the challenges of covering tight ends at the collegiate level are vastly different from those encountered professionally, but his demonstrated skills in this area are encouraging. Therefore, his inclusion in the top 30 visits and an invitation to the professional combine highlight the significance placed on building relationships and adaptability, leading to further discussion on how he might be used. It is certainly promising to see him involved in a top 30 visit and participating in the professional combine. There's a strong emphasis on building relationships and a deep appreciation for versatility, which highlights the potential to position him as an outside linebacker while also utilizing him as an edge rusher. This individual received a notable accolade in 2014, being honored as the nation's top linebacker. While there's frequent talk about versatility, it should be noted that not all players serving as inside linebackers yield the same level of effectiveness. There's confidence in one of them being able to take on the weak side linebacker role, but if both are the starting linebackers for the team, it might result in a less formidable linebacker unit in the league. Nevertheless, the strategy may involve selecting the best available talent while strengthening the lines, which is crucial, and possibly securing a substitute who could also perform well as an outside linebacker. Versatility remains a top priority, and it's clear that the current management values success in the trenches. With his adaptable skill set, this player can significantly aid in achieving victories in that vital area. There's a belief that he can achieve 5, 6, or even 7 sacks, depending on how he's utilized. After reviewing ample footage, it's evident that he is a remarkable athlete. Caution should be exercised when comparing him to others taken in past drafts. Yet his game exhibits significant elements of skill and extraordinary athleticism. Given his distinct qualities, successful teams are likely to devise various ways to integrate him into their strategies. While there is anticipation for additional performances from other athletes, the need for another edge rusher to bolster the lineup should not be overlooked when the situation arises, requiring a thorough evaluation of all available options. I'm excited to see more of Tyree Wilson and Malcolm Coe's performance. However, with all due respect to Charles Snowden, it's vital that we get another edge rusher to handle certain situations. When considering the search for another rusher, we also have the possibility of using Malcolm Coe and Tyree Wilson as linebackers when necessary. We could line them up as outside linebackers, adjusting their roles for the edge position. I'm not sure about the exact defensive strategy that will be implemented, but I imagine a formation with 3 safeties and 2 linebackers on the field, plus a defensive line consisting of 5 players, which was a common setup for the team last season. Walker could indeed improve all these aspects I've mentioned. Now, regarding opinions on versatility and the overall evaluation of Jalen Walker as a prospect, views are varied. While some see him as a tweener, others consider him a hybrid athlete. In any case, Walker's career play count shows a balance between his edge and linebacker roles. He's still developing his instincts and efficiency as a linebacker off the ball, but he already possesses the necessary explosiveness to close quickly, allowing for prominence in this role. He may be relatively small for an edge rusher on initial plays, but his athletic ability and explosiveness when attacking from both sides make him a considerable threat to opposing tackles. The most suitable role for Walker might be as a linebacker on initial plays, where he can pressure off the edge or get involved in confrontations along the line as a blitzer in passing situations. Analyzing the current state of the Raiders' defense and everything discussed earlier, it's clear that if the opportunity arises, it could be valuable to take the time to watch Jalen Walker's tapes. He will surely make an impact, regardless of the position he's selected for in the draft. The use of the terms tweener and hybrid suggests that he can serve as a pass rusher, and we must recognize that this is an urgent need for the team's defense. It's a resource any NFL defense would consider desirable. There are several reasons why Jalen Walker could be the Raiders' pick at the 6th spot, and I'll soon discuss some rumors. Before diving deeper into these aspects, it's important to mention that whoever is selected will wear an impressive Raiders draft cap. Whether it's the traditional black or the cream version, these caps come in various styles, such as trucker, snapback, and adjustable. Personally, I prefer the snapback version, but the Raiders have introduced some new models this year, including caps that come with pins. For example, this specific model includes a pin of Allegiant Stadium, which adds a slight premium to the price. Browsing the website, you can find the draft caps featured with 6 to 8 different styles available. These caps are selling out quickly, and it's likely they won't be available by the time of the NFL draft, so it's worth checking out. Now, let's look at another reason why the Raiders might consider selecting Jalen Walker. He stood out as a leader at Georgia, serving as team captain, and these traits are crucial when developing a long-term vision for the team. It's essential to have players who value culture, teamwork, and the pursuit of championships. Walker's role as captain speaks volumes about his character, and he shares this image with another respected figure from Georgia. This raises the question of whether a team could benefit from another player who possesses the same mindset and skills, but on the defensive line. I believe this player could indeed be Jalen Walker. One analyst highlighted how Walker's leadership was widely acknowledged within a Georgia program. Being recognized for leadership on such a talented team speaks volumes about his capabilities. Although Georgia may not have had the most remarkable year recently, I wouldn't be surprised if they won the national championship in 2025, considering they're one of the top college football programs in the country. That program has clearly demonstrated its team's ability over the past few seasons. I understand that the last year was somewhat disappointing, but if Georgia were to win the national championship in 2025, I wouldn't be sitting here thinking surprising. It's one of the top college football programs available, And looking at the way a player stood out as a freshman, I imagine if this same mentality could be replicated on the defensive side, alongside another player in the defensive line, it would create solid pressure with four players, leading to considerable success in forcing the quarterback to make quick decisions. Now, let's delve into the final aspect, which involves the buzz surrounding an athlete and his connection with a National Football League team. I mention this because there are specific figures within the NFL draft realm whose opinions I find important. One analyst is definitely one of them, and another could be seen as a reliable source for college football information. What's interesting is that both analysts recently projected a player to the team at the 6th overall pick. Moreover, it's worth noting that both chose this player over others in their draft simulations. This is a situation I think warrants closer reflection, as the fact that both released their simulations within less than 24 hours is quite relevant. These simulations were published on a Wednesday, April 2nd, and due to some scheduling issues, you may be watching this video later in the week. However, the coincidence of both analysts linking the team with the player right after another prediction is something worth highlighting. It's crucial to remember that during current NFL meetings, especially the owners' meetings, there is intense communication among various parties. With both analysts providing this information, it's definitely something to watch. One analyst mentioned that he believes the team will ultimately go with this player. Although there's plenty of speculation that the Las Vegas team might decide on a running back, this athlete, who won the 2024 Butkus Award as the nation's top linebacker, is simply too appealing to pass up, considering his production, explosiveness, and character, which have impressed coaches and opponents. If the Las Vegas team is looking to emulate another team, acquiring a transformative defender from a university could be an excellent start. One of the strategies suggested for the team this offseason is to mimic what another team did in a Super Bowl. You could argue that the team is already moving in that direction, especially in the trenches, where they outperformed a rival on Christmas a few years ago. Another team did something similar in 2019 by defeating a rival. This management places great importance on the trenches, and they demonstrated this commitment early in the offseason during free agency. If the goal is to replicate the success of the team that recently defeated its rival, this player could be a significant asset. Additionally, it has been noted that, while another running back has a high evaluation, the running back class is incredibly deep. This player is seen as a hybrid linebacker, with a character that could be essential for the team. Interestingly, both analysts shared quite similar views on this situation. There's significant excitement surrounding this running back, and many are hoping he joins the team. However, given the hybrid status of the player and the current goals of the organization, questions arise about how the team's leadership perceives their intentions. The rumors surrounding the player and the team definitely deserve closer scrutiny. This is especially relevant since he participated in the Combine, and the team has already done a visit with him. He is a versatile prospect as an outside linebacker, which aligns well with the team's needs. He is recognized as a leader, and if the selection of another player is successful, it could further reinforce this direction. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a potential move that could shake the very foundation of the NFL, reports have emerged linking none other than Patrick Mahomes to a sensational switch to the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, that Patrick Mahomes, the three-time Super Bowl MVP, the man who redefined quarterback play and the heart of the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. While no official announcement has been made, insiders close to the league suggest that conversations between the Raiders' front office and Mahomes' camp have intensified in recent weeks. The idea of Mahomes donning the Raiders' iconic uniform feels like fiction, but in the NFL, loyalty can be fleeting when legacy, opportunity, and power collide. Sources say frustrations within the Chiefs organization have been quietly mounting, ranging from disagreements over future roster construction to Mahomes' long-term vision being at odds with GM Brett Veach. While the Chiefs continue to chase a third consecutive title, whispers of internal unrest have given the Raiders a window, and they're charging through it with full force. Las Vegas, desperate for a new franchise face and seeking redemption after years of inconsistency, sees Mahomes as more than a player. He's a brand, a magnet for talent, and a proven winner. Pairing him with Davante Adams and a retooled offensive line could immediately vault the Raiders into championship contention. And perhaps more tantalizingly, it would place Mahomes in direct, twice-a-year combat with his former team. The ultimate revenge narrative. For Mahomes, the move would be nothing short of historic. Leaving the franchise that drafted him and made him a legend would stun the football world, but it might also be the boldest step yet in a career already defined by rewriting expectations. With contract renegotiations looming and his legacy already cemented, could this be the time to chase a new challenge in a new city with a franchise hungry to rise? Only time will reveal whether this jaw-dropping rumor becomes a reality. But one thing is certain. The very idea of Patrick Mahomes joining the Raiders isn't just a headline. It's the kind of story that makes the NFL the most dramatic league on earth. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.